I tell you what, it's been a while since I played around with these buttons and toys, but I think we've got it all kind of sorted out. I put a brand spanking new digital mixer in today. I always seem to do it right before we're due to do an interview. I don't know why that is, but my old one actually, that it wasn't even that old, decided it was wanted to part life. So now we're all kind of back up and running again, sort of. So we're hoping that this this will go well tonight. I assume everybody can hear us and see us and all that sort of stuff. We've got comments loaded up here, so if you've got any questions and stuff that you want to ask, by all means do so. What are we doing here? Well, for this particular interview, we've got the guys from New Zealand Truck Racing, Super Truck Racing Championship, got a hold of us and said, hey, we wouldn't mind doing a bit of a catch-up just to let people know what's going on. And I do believe there's been a couple of rounds done so far this season for them, and they've got a few to go. And so what better way than to catch up with the guy that's the president of the New Zealand Super Truck Racing Association. I think it's an association anyway, but we'll give it a crack. Hello, Shane. How are you, mate?
Good, yourself?
Oh, yeah, nice and clear.
Actually, Vice President Dave West is the president.
Close enough.
So, yeah, I'll pull him for
him. Well, he's a bit of a character, actually. We'd be on the, you only got to ask him one question. He's away, mate. He'll keep talking for hours, won't he?
Yep. Westy's definitely one of the colourful ones of the association.
How's it going for you guys so far this season? Obviously, you've had a couple of rounds, have you?
We've had the one round at Manfield, which went off pretty well. It was definitely good presentation and probably good competition to start the season.
Did you have many trucks there? How many had showed up so far this season?
We had 8 trucks there, but unfortunately Troy Eating had a gearbox failure, which, it was really unfortunate actually because that took one number out, but still good competitive racing. We've changed a bit of rule format this year, and we've seen quite a difference in the finishing and in the fields, but you got Brett Collins coming out there. He's charging pretty hard. At Manfield, he qualified on pole and he had a race win. And then we come out and we qualified 2 by 300ths of a second. Mm-hmm. So, we were pushing it and we got a race win. And then Troy Wheeler's returned to the circuit as well, and he came out with a race win as well. So there was a bit of variety in the race wins. So that was quite good to see, mixing it up instead of the same truck. Alex didn't seem to be carrying his pace, but he was certainly still there. So it'll be interesting at the next meeting to see what goes on there, And Westy was always Mr. Consistent. Mm-hmm. So, but we've seen a few newcomers coming along. Connor Eating, he's starting to punch it out there and get a bit of pace on. And the old Mark King, he's just cruising along there, still showing a bit of form. So, it's definitely been a good start to the season. Definitely a well-presented race meeting. As I said with... Sorry?
Yeah, we go. Yep. Karen.
As I said, with Troy falling off, because that truck's starting to really perform too, was really disappointing that it didn't run. So hopefully at the next meeting, they've got all their little gremlins ironed out and we're all good to go.
So is there expected to be more trucks go as the season goes by? Because obviously there's a bit of a thing called a cost of living crisis at the moment, which is hurting a lot of motorsport. And I would imagine that truck racing would be one of the ones that would probably suffer the most with the amount of cost and stuff it is just to get them around the place, let alone run them as well.
Oh, to be fair, most of the guys that race them have a bit of a transport background of some sort. So it's horses for courses, like the guys that are running trucks are running transport as well. So the cost is no different to somebody with a car, to be fair, like it's how you build it and how you... But we've got Tony Brand coming back out at Timaru, so be looking forward to seeing Tony with a little Bedford. That's always a well-presented crew and truck, and he'll be out there doing what he does. And we've got Ron Salter coming back. He missed the first round. And, Ron will be out there doing what he does.
Being Ron. Okay. All right. So we've got a wee bit to get through for this part of it anyway. Of course, you've had round 1, which was sponsored by Central House Movers, and that was at Manfield. Your second round is where, and it's actually sponsored by John Jones Steel. So who is round 2?
It's at Timaru. So we've got John Jones Steel coming on board, which is pretty impressive, really, because we haven't had them before. So they're a new sponsor, and they've decided to come on board, and we certainly appreciate them coming on, and we want to try and do everything we can to maintain the sponsors. They're not easy to get at the moment. As you said, we're going into a bit of a economical crisis in a few areas, and we have been struggling to find sponsors, but we got the consistency, and now with picking up John Jones Steel, we're sort of pretty happy with getting that one, and we'll certainly do what we have to do to maintain it. So hopefully we can put on a good show and impress them.
And of course, we can't forget our main sponsor either, Napa Auto Parts. I mean, they've been with you guys for a couple of years now too, haven't they?
Oh, 100%. Napa's, like every time we go anywhere, they have either trucks at certain branches or they all turn up and they've all got positive vibes and they're all about it. It's definitely a big thing to have them on board and they're consistent. So we know what we've got and they know what they're going to get. But each time we try to step it up a bit more to maintain that sponsorship. It's not an easy thing for them out there with businesses at the moment to be off doing that sort of thing. So yeah, we certainly really appreciate those boys on board. And as I said, the Central House Mover guys, they've been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They back us. We turn up there and we use their workshops and they put on a big barbecue and all that sort of stuff for the boys. And it's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely an awesome little syndicate of sponsors we've collected up there.
Round 3 is being held where? And of course, that is King's House Removals looking after you on that one.
Yeah, so we got round 3 at Invercargill, which, like King's come on board. They've done it for a few years now, so it's always good to see them out there. They're once again house movers, so it's quite a funny little thing, really. You got the little bit of the same enthusiasm at both ends of the country, if you would say. So, the King's guys turn up there and they definitely bring on a pretty impressive setup. They normally shift a house in or something to work out of for the weekend and they have a few beers and have a good time and all their guys are really respectful. And, yeah, it's awesome to have those guys on board. They're just, as I said, it's not easy to do it at the moment, but we certainly appreciate everything they do.
Absolutely. And round 4 is where? And Burnside Contractors looking after you on that round.
Yeah, so we're off to Christchurch for round 4, and Burnside Contractors, good friend of mine, like Johnny and Matt and them down there, awesome blokes, like just top-notch blokes. They're pretty crazy, pretty relaxed. They lead a bit of an industry in their own little field there, and they got transporters and all that sort of stuff there. And once again, you ring them up and nothing's a problem, it gets done. And it's definitely cool to see them out there. They bring a good crew and they also bring a good vibe to the sport. So yeah, pretty happy to have them on board, and they're good guys. They all are. All our sponsors are good guys. They've all got something background in amongst what we do. We're just hoping to get some of them on board to race. So if you can get 1 or 2 of them to buy a race truck, and that'll be pretty awesome too.
Absolutely, it increases those numbers. It makes it more appealing for the spectator. Although even with 8 trucks or so, it's still a bloody good deal, isn't it? Like you can still get some good racing with 8 trucks.
10 trucks is a good field, like it is a good field, but 15's way more entertaining for the crowd.
Yeah, definitely. More entertaining for you guys too, so a bit more stuff to avoid. Round 5 is Bosco sponsored, Bryce O'Sullivan Contracting. Where's round 5? That's back at Manfield again, isn't it?
Yeah, back at Manfield, so we're looking forward to that because Bryce has done their Timaru round, which is probably not 100% beneficial to his business, but good advertising for him. But being back at Manfield, it's a bit more home-based for him. So, I'm pretty happy with that because that's one of my little personal sponsors there. Bryce started working for us a few years ago now, and he's gone out on his own, and he's definitely conquered a bit of an industry there, and he's coming through, but he doesn't forget where it all started from. So it's pretty cool to have him on board. It's they're all, as I said, they're all good people, and they're all about it. But, Bryce coming on for the Manfield round will be pretty cool there. Home race field for us, and it'll be the last round, so hopefully we can turn it on for the sponsors. But as the committee, like the committee's out there and the girls are doing the best they can to keep those sponsors, it'd be nice to do a Trans-Tasman at some stage and bring some Australian trucks over, but that's sort of big coin, and it's something we talked to Napa about, but it might be something we have to get quite a few sponsors involved in to do, but certainly be good to do it, what the old Trans-Tasman brings to the table.
Absolutely, yeah, it'd be good too, because you won Aussie there, must have been a season or so ago, and that, they said they're going to bring it, and they didn't quite. I didn't think they realised how quick the old New Zealand trucks have gotten and how good the drivers have gotten as well, have they?
Yeah, Steve was here, and Steve's a good mate of mine, but my ambition earlier in life was to actually beat him, and we certainly done that when he turned up here, and it was probably a good eye-opener for him. Mm-hmm. It definitely made him go home and think about what he could do, and when he got back home, he was certainly faster again because he put a lot of thought into what he had to do to come back here. If he is coming back here at some stage, or we're certainly keen to hop on board and bring one of them, if not two or three. Like we'd like to see them back here. But it was definitely good to see one of Australia's fastest trucks here, and the competition really wasn't brought from them. It was a major eye opener for them.
That's a good thing, though. So the other thing, I got asked a question the other day. Why is it that you only go to those 3 tracks? Is it because of some sort of rating involved, and is that why you can't go to likes of, Taupo or places like that?
Yeah, to a certain extent. So FAI approved tracks in certain meetings a year are the only ones that can take us, and there's a couple of tracks that owned by other investors in that, which sort of stop us going there. Motorsport don't seem to have a say in what's going on and how they work. So, yeah, that's Timaru's always been the heart of truck racing. Like many years ago, we lost most of the tracks when we had race trucks, and they were pretty shabby old things, And then over the years, we've developed into super trucks, and it's actually taken us a lot of work to get back to these tracks and prove our merit and prove to people that we don't do the damage that we allegedly used to do, but you can certainly see why they made those allocations. So since we stepped into super trucks, our tyres and even the damage on the circuits, it's very minimal. So yeah, we're working forward, and we'd work with any track that would actually be keen on talking to us, and we'd certainly like to see a couple more. But also, as you said before, in the economical times, you don't want to get too many meetings a year, and with the big costs and that, some of the guys won't be able to do them, but we'd be certainly 100% in for getting to other tracks. But what we've got works well, and we appreciate the tracks. Like they all welcome us with open arms, really.
You got a favourite track? You got a favourite track for yourself? Have you got a favourite track for yourself?
I used to have with my old truck, but with my new truck, all I want to do is get in and go racing. So wherever it is, we'll race it, and whatever it is, we love it.
That's a good thing, though, eh? So as we alluded to before, you guys have already had one round, and I've actually been sent the points for that first round. How did you go?
We finished up second by 1 point to Brett Collins.
Mm-hmm.
So Brett got off to a good start with getting the qualifying, and that's where the weekend starts. There's a good points gap there and a good points jump. But by 1 point. Then we've got Alex. He's down on 47 points. Well, Brett Collins on 55. We're on 54. Alex Little's on 47. Like Alex he'll find his form there. There's definitely, I don't know, whether he's hiding something up his sleeve or he's just sleeping dog lie, or I'm not sure, but he'll definitely become hard charging at the next round. And then we've got old Mr. Consistent Westy. He's sitting on 40 points, and Connor Eating's up there. Like Connor last year sort of struggled to find his feet, and this year he's definitely got a bit of form and a bit of pace. And then with Troy coming back, he had a bit of a rough weekend. He had a few breakdowns, and he's still sitting on sixth, with 34 points. So he's not one to not take your eye off. He'll be there, and he'll just be at some stage. He'll pop one out, and he'll probably put it on pole and grab some of those big points again. And then, as I said, with Troy Eating, that truck's coming pretty quick as well. So he'll slide in there somewhere. They'll all turn up, and who knows?
Will he get his truck fixed, Troy, do you think?
Oh, no, definitely. They're 100% into it already. They're a pretty dedicated crew, those guys they got there, and they've got the truck back at the workshop, and there's bits and pieces going on, and our crew's giving them a bit of hand to try and sort out the gearbox, which hopefully between us all we can get it sorted.
Wouldn't be very cheap to get a bloody gearbox, one of those, I wouldn't imagine.
We did 3 of them in one weekend, so we know how cheap they're not. Yeah.
Hell. Well, why would you blow 3 in 1 weekend? What does this? Is it installation problem or something you weren't doing right, or?
I would probably reserve my comments, but the gear just doesn't seem to be up to the horsepower the trucks are producing, and it's time to look after market and outside the square just to see and get the horsepower and the torque to the ground.
Do your rules allow that, though?
There's a tremendous amount of torque going through those gearboxes.
Does your rules allow that, though, Shane? Can you go and get after?
Yep.
Okay, so it's not so bad then. I thought you were going to turn around and say, no, the rules won't allow it, so now we have to change it, but that's all good.
No, definitely nothing to do with the rules. It's more so just finding what's available out there, what you can purchase. No different to stock cars, saloon cars, brakes, clutches. If you're not breaking something, you're breaking something else.
Yeah, definitely. And I see there's been a bit of a redesign of your logos and stuff this year as well, being a bit more, I would say, more professional was probably the words I'd use. It looks pretty good. And a bit of a marketing push.
100%.
What's the deal with that? And we've got a photo very shortly we'll bring up of the new T-shirt design as well, so you can tell us about that. But tell us what's with all the rebranding and stuff. Why has that all happened?
I think it's just moving into the future with, as I said, we've gone from race trucks to super trucks, and then our merchandise has followed along. And Shelley, she gets in behind there, and she's just motivated all the time, talking to all the girls and keeping that side of the committee moving. You know, they're always designing something or talking to a designer about something. And you go to stock cars and you don't see anything average anymore. You see stuff that catches your eye, and that's cool. So that's what we've got to do too. You know, we're moving into TikTok videos, and I suppose some of us are a bit old school and we just wonder. But you look at the amount of people that watch the TikTok videos and the YouTube stuff, and that it's where it's all at, you know. And presentation's a big thing. We've always had it in our camp, where our crew's always tidily dressed and that. But the girls are lifting it to the next level now, and they're out there consistently chasing merchandise. So if anyone is interested in a bit of merchandise, feel free to have a look around and see what we've got. But the new stuff's just coming out at the next round. So everything you got's obsolete. You need to buy some new stuff.
Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at this T-shirt. There's your T-shirt design there. Bringing the thunder. There you go. So that's what it's going to look like, team. So if you want to get involved and get one of those, so just go what you just do them locally, or can you look at the tracks, or are you going to be able to get them online, or what's the story?
The girls will be out there pushing them at the track. So we've got the merchandise trailer. We're going to do the transport show in Christchurch. So the merchandise will be getting sold there. You can buy it online. So it's just a matter of flicking a message. And, you know, that some of those shirts are a little bit overpowering for some people. I like the old simplistic ones still. So we've still got those as well. And you can pretty much order whatever we've got. So, yeah, whether it's on Facebook or just on the website and that sort of thing, you feel free to jump on there and have a look and send some orders in.
Do you remember the days, Shane, where we used to, go to a newspaper and see what's happening, and used to be able to just buy a shirt from the track? Now everything's online. Everything's, like you said, TikTok and Facebook and all that social media stuff. It's certainly been a bit of a change in the times when how you promote your events and how you get yourselves out there, isn't it?
Yeah, you say that, but there's still nothing like face-to-face deals. It's always good having a bit of a barter and a bit of a laugh and meeting people. So we went to the round with the Australian Super Trucks at Winton, and I said to my partner Georgie, let's just have a real crack at this merchandise this weekend. And while I was sitting around doing bugger all, she went out and sold quite a bit for them. And it was that face-to-face thing, I think, and even the girls in Steve's team, they went out with her and the kids, and seeing the kids turn up with a little truck or a little golf cart with it all loaded up, and it puts a personal touch on things, and I still believe that that's where it's at.
I do agree, and I see you guys have got a caravan that you've all kitted out as well, where people in the pits can come and walk up, and you're probably pretty lucky that most of the places you go to allow people to come into the pits to do that sort of stuff. So is that still happening this year and this season as well?
Oh, 100%, 100%. The girls do a mint job, and there you got Shelley's probably oversees the whole thing, and she's got the girls Bailey and Georgie and Cassandra, and every team jumps in. Like we have a dedicated time that we have teams in there, so every team has to have someone in there at some stage of the weekend to do the face-to-face, the talking. So it's good meet and greet, and it's also, like some people see us as big bag ogres of racing or something like that, but they pop in there and then they actually see that we are humans and we have a laugh, and most of them don't even know who we are when they come over and you introduce yourself, and they're sort of quite shocked.
You're not the fit, athletic type race truck driver you think would be, would you? I mean, that's stereotypical, I suppose.
Yeah. Some of those other guys aren't very fit. They really need to look at themselves.
Yeah. Here's me boiling the kettle black as well, really, to be fair, but that's so good.
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up. But
yeah. Oh, well.
We're still selling 4XL shirts. We're all good.
Exactly right, yes. And until they can't fit a shirt anymore, then we'll just keep going the way we are. You're a long time dead these days, apparently. So,
it's like racing, mate, more horsepower.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, you'd probably need it in some cases, some of the time.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, this the trucks racing sort of taken off a little bit in the aspect of the way you were a few years ago. Why is that? What's sort of changed? Is it just who you've got in your committee now and the people that are pushing it?
Yeah, we were in dire straits there for a little bit. Like I've been to a race meeting where we've only had 4 trucks, but I've also been to a race meeting where they've only had a limited amount of cars. It's the economy, it's the motivation, but hey, you got to take your hat off to guys like Malcolm that's out there. He's building a third truck, like that's pretty cool. And family, you see the family growing into it. He's got Brett Collins driving one of them, but Brett's not a slug, like he's the man out there. And you see the daughter hopping in the truck now. So it'll be interesting to see if it's a father-son-daughter combo at some stage of the year. But that's a big feat to have 3 trucks. So you take your hat off to Malcolm, like he's definitely a dedicated sportsman. And then Troy and Connor Eating, that's a 2-truck team. So those boys are out there 24/7, and you look at the guys, and I don't think the field's growing too far out of the circle, but the circle's got bigger. So they're bringing in family, and those guys are dedicated, They're pretty dedicated.
I think it's very much a family-orientated thing. Like I even look at Shelley, who does the organisation of some of the stuff there, and her partner's heavily involved, and her mum was, and her dad was as well. And it's just sort of like it is a family deal. It's a bit like motorsport in a whole, really. Once you've got one member of the family hooked into something, everybody starts floating in, and you see cars or trucks or whatever popping up left, right, and centre. So like you said, it's not the pool hasn't gotten bigger; it's just gotten within the amount of people that you got there now. But I mean, I suppose a lot of people look at trucks and they go, "God, they must be expensive." Are they actually expensive? Are they expensive to buy or build, or
They can be no different to a stock car. You can have your budget and you can stick to it, but like everyone throws a bit at us because we spend a bit of money, but we charge pretty hard in the business too.
That was my next thing. I was going to, what's your truck worth, Shane?
Oh, it's worth what it's worth.
Yeah.
You sell it tomorrow, it's only worth what someone to pay for it.
Well, true.
But we dedicate a lot of hours to work, and if it wasn't for Hayden, I wouldn't be racing. I just couldn't afford the time. And I'm grateful to Hayden that I just leave that truck with him, and all the boys in my crew, to be fair. They all just do what they've got to do, but all the other guys are in the same boat, like they've got guys that do stuff for them and help them out. And if it wasn't for those guys, none of us would be doing it. So sometimes it's not a money value, like I take my hat off once again to Malcolm. That guy's a Trojan. He's always out there building trucks, and he does it all himself, but if he was in the situation we were in where he didn't have that time and he was paying people to do that, the values in his trucks would be huge. And even Troy Wheeler, like he's got a mean crew. Westy, there's only a couple of them, but that's just the most bizarre truck that's just reliable consistently. And, you could ask Ron what he spent on that thing, because he's paid everyone to do everything. And it's got a business to run, you got a business to run. That's just the way it is. And you look at some of those stock cars out there, they got businesses to run, they just spend the money on fixing them.
Yeah, not a good comparison though. I mean, some of those guys are out of control with what they spend on super stocks and stock cars. I would hate to think what they pump in, but I mean, it's if you can do it, why wouldn't you do it? And then at the end of the day, if anybody's got a problem with it, well, do put themselves into the position you're in, and they'll be able to do it too, wouldn't they?
Oh, 100%. It's an addiction. It's no different to drugs, alcohol, money.
It's a better addiction,
though.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that's what it is. Ron Salter said you spent $4 million on your truck.
Did he? I'd hate to think what he spent $4 million on.
Well, it might have been him $4 million, So he's just said Ron Salter's just come in with a comment $4 million. So I'm not sure which one he's angling at there. Probably both.
Good number.
Yeah. You take a swipe.
That's what it is.
That's exactly right. I've got a mate of mine that races Super Saloon, and he just every time I say, "What it cost you?" He said $1.50. Because it doesn't really matter, like it's just $1.50, so
100%.
Yeah,
100% right there, Jace. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's what people say to me. How much are your vans? $1.50. I've gotten into the habit of doing the same thing. But moving on from that, you've got quite a few. Obviously the 3 more rounds to get through. Your plan of attack? What's your plan? Just to stay consistent, or you're going to try and push to get that lead? Like push yourself into the front. How are you going to do the next 3 rounds?
Oh, my personal plan of attack is to go out there with 110% effort and drive the best I can drive for my team, but my team turns up with a 110% prepared truck as well. So we're coming out there and we're coming hard. We're going to charge hard all season.
I think the old age thing is, most of the races are won in the workshop, aren't they? Like the prep's key,
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty then. So, I mean, this is just a quick update and a big catch up. Is there anything else you want to mention while we're on air having a chat?
Yeah, we've got a few changes in the technical side of things at the moment. We've got Barry Carrington's come on from Motorsport as our scrutineer, and seeing a little bit of positivity from Barry. He's very firm, definitely very firm. So it's a pretty straight and narrow line with him. So New Broome always sweeps clean, but I think the guy's coming out there to tidy us up some more, which is good. Like there's nothing wrong with that 110% on safety for the crowd and the drivers. It's it's a funny old thing that, because I've always been pretty lax with some of that stuff, but since my crew started putting me in the truck and we got neck braces and all that sort of stuff now that we've got to wear, you actually don't mind doing it because you're going out there with the best of the best, and if something did happen, you knew you'd done your best. So it's seeing that safety level picked up is definitely a personal thing of mine. That's pretty cool, and it's good for the sport as well.
Yep.
So it's big ups to Barry, but New Broome sweeps clean. We'll see how it goes. It's only early days.
What's he, a referee or something, is he?
Sorry?
Is he a referee or steward or what's what?
Truck scrutineer.
Oh, yeah,
Truck
okay.
scrutineer.
So
Yep.
he's
he comes in,
checking.
he does all our weights.
Yeah. Yep, carry on, yep.
Yeah, he does all our weights and that, checks all our seatbelts. And when we're doing corporate rides, he was certainly checking all the seatbelts and all that sort of stuff as well. So he doesn't leave any room for any laps there, which, hey, we all need to be kept an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a new coordinator, Barry Carrington. Graham Carrington, got that wrong, sorry. He's learning his feet. His first meeting, he seemed a little bit lost, but he's sort of walking around and picking up the pieces and learning. Unfortunately, Karen's resigned from the trucks, which, it's big ups to her. She's been with us for years, and she's kept us all in line and all in tow and that. And sometimes time's time, you dedicate a lot of your life to that sort of thing, and your weekends and your public holidays and all that are taken up by racing and stuff. So, we love to see Karen around, and she's the heart of Timaru, so it'll be nice to go down there and catch up with her again, and hopefully she can give Graham a bit of a hand and steer him in the right direction, and we can get him underway. As I said, we've got sort of social media platforms now. We've got the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikTok. I love those TikTok videos. They're always good. Shelley and the girls do that. And as you're saying before, with Christine, Shelley, and we've got Peyton on board as well, so there's 3 generations there.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay Carring Company is definitely a sponsor, even though it's not advertised. They with Roger, but they just turn up and scratch from the old days. They've all been pretty dedicated to the sport, so they'll be one of the biggest sponsors underneath it all, which is pretty cool.
Mm. Yep.
We've got the Transport Industry Show in Christchurch coming up. That's on the 8th of March. So that's a big thing we're trying to organise trucks for. It's a little bit hard with the short calendar. We've got pretty much one weekend after another of stuff to do with truck racing. So we'll have a good presence there, and Napa's bringing them in there, and we've got a few other people that are going to come in there with us as sponsors and that. So we're looking forward to that. That should be a good show. We'll have all the merchandise there and have the little truck there, take some kid rides and all that sort of stuff. It's there's a lot of organisation going on behind the scenes.
Mm. Do you guys, like Motorsport New Zealand, obviously there's been a bit of a rigmarole with those guys over the last wee while. Do they support you guys pretty good and give you a bit of support and a bit of loving?
Motorsport do. They supply us with what we require, and I think just at the moment we just sort of, with a bit of movement around in the motorsport world, I think they're struggling as well. It's a beast of guys there, and the lack of numbers that are racing, and their turnover's probably down quite a bit to what it was, similar to most businesses. So they're tightening the reins a little bit in that, and we're sort of working with them to see where we can find a happy medium. So, they've got a bit of a hard job as well. They're pretty minimally funded, and they've got to come on board, and we've got to come on board and just find that compromise.
Yeah, it's not always easy though, is it? I mean, everybody's got to try and look after themselves, so to speak. But yeah, just a lot of people have made comments about Motorsport New Zealand in recent times, and especially on social media. I just wanted to see what the relationship was like with them. If somebody was wanting to get involved with super trucks, even though they might not be a driver, but if they wanted to help out, like, are you always looking for people maybe to come and help you out at the different rounds that can help out with merch or, any type of volunteer type things or roles you need?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Anyone that wants to come in and just have a catch up, and we do a corporate barbecue for all our sponsors and that on Friday night. Just roll in there and have a chat to us and put your hand up. Like everybody, it's sort of where everyone starts, isn't it? You might sell a T-shirt this week and think, I'm going to buy a truck next week. You don't know. You've got to give everyone the time of day and just get it out there. Like we're looking for sponsors consistently, and it doesn't need to be a $10,000 or $5,000 sponsor. It could be a $1,500 sponsor, just someone to pay for the barbecue. Like on the Friday night, it could be just sponsored by Pitts Media. Like it's every small piece helps to make the big piece.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I actually had somebody down here that was pretty keen to help out if they could. They don't have really any association with anybody, but they quite enjoy the trucks and said, even if they're cooking the barbecue, probably they'd be quite keen to do that. So just, thought I'd ask that question just to see if there's any way that who they get in contact with to be able to come on board and give you a bit of a hand if you need it, and that might lead into something else. They might become a coordinator or eventually, So the more they get involved, it becomes like you said, it becomes an addiction. It becomes a passion, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And hey, a lot of it could start around a barbecue. A lot of good ideas start around a barbecue.
Yes, they definitely do. Okay, well, anything else you want to add? Let's see, it was just a quick update, and I wouldn't mind catching up with you or somebody from you guys again after your next round or two, and especially before heading into Invercargill, because obviously I'll be sort of kind of floating around this area at that time, so it'd be quite good to catch up with you guys. But yeah, appreciate your time, Shane, and anything else you want to add while we've got the chance?
No worries. Just a big thanks to all our sponsors. They're all out there listening, and there's guys like PTS and Jack and Scotty. All those guys. There's just multiple people that listen to Pitts Media that are very valuable to us. It's a pretty big circle. We're hoping to do something at the Manawatu Speedway with the trucks at some stage. I was talking to Puck the other day, and he wants to get some trucks back there for a bit of a display and that sort of thing. And like any of the speedways, if they want to do them, we'd be more than keen to bring trucks along for a demonstration, have a bit of a look. But as you just said, if there's someone floating around that just wants to jump on a barbecue and give us a hand for a weekend, more than welcome, because you'll meet some interesting people.
It's actually quite a good idea to put some trucks on display at some of these motorsport facilities around the country. Because let's be honest, a lot of the fans that love speedway love truck racing as well. It's a very good crossover, which is probably why he's getting a reasonable amount of viewers tonight, and lots of people will watch this as time goes by. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I just don't have the relationship with the circuit racing tracks that I do with the speedway tracks, and we do have one or two places we can go, but the biggest problem that we've got is that speedway pays big bills, whereas truck racing, you do it for the love a lot of the time, and because obviously you guys are just giving it away, it's such a fantastic sort of a spectacle, truck racing, there's nothing beats the sound of a truck going full noise, does it? Being in it would probably be the better one.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be out there, but hey, it's exactly what you just said. It's hard to find that financial backing to get people on board like yourself to cover your costs to get it out there. But it's something we need to do. We need to find some sponsors, and we need to get some more people involved in the sport. And just numbers, like you look how big stock cars are throughout New Zealand now. I wouldn't have imagined you being able to do what you do 20 years ago, because the money wasn't there, the spectators weren't there. But now you look at every meeting's just about a sellout. So it gives everyone that financial reassurance.
And you know what the difference is, Shane? We don't give it away. Literally people will pay to watch it because it's actually good value. But I went to Wellington a couple of weekends ago for it was a reasonably big meeting. 104 stock cars showed up for it. 104 of them. So that's the type of numbers we're getting. And, New Zealand Super Stock Champs is over 100 cars. The New Zealand Stock Car Champs is getting closer to 200 cars. Although the money is a bit tight, there's still people that have got these investments, and they still want it. You've got to have fun, don't you? You still have to have fun.
Oh, definitely. And it's interesting what you say there, because when I had one of the first stock cars, we had 4 stock cars.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Probably 10 super stocks,
Yeah.
Had to put us all together to get 14 cars to make the weekend look all right.
Yeah.
And now it's just, as you say, huge meetings.
Yeah.
Huge meetings.
Well, I mean, they will get there, and it's just like I said. I mean, I did notice a couple of new names within your, racing, series, and there's still obviously some old buggers to come back yet, so hopefully they'll come back, and you get into that 14, 15 mark. I mean, you probably wouldn't want much more on the track after that because it just gets a little bit messy and a little bit out of control, doesn't it?
Yeah, sort of. That 10 to 12 trucks is quite a good field, but the boys have learned to respect each other a lot more too, though, now, and the dollar value in the trucks, they don't want the damage. So we've been pulled up, we've been reprimanded, and we've had to pull our heads in. I think Pukekohe was a big eye-opener for us. Malcolm Glenn pulled us into the pits after the first round and our first race, and pretty much said, we don't stop doing it, we're going to be on our trailers and we're going to be going home. And I think that's what we need. We need that structure and that enforcement. It might have been the last hurrah at Pukekohe, but it didn't need to go getting wrecked by us. So that's where we need to clean up on, and I believe we have. I strongly believe we have.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot better for spectators, for track managers, and it stops all the hardship after the meeting. So yeah, I definitely think it was something we needed to pull our horns in on and all get together, and we have. We're band together and we've all toned it down. So it's good racing, clean racing.
It shouldn't be that you have to watch what other people are doing in their trucks. It should be you can focus on what you're doing in your truck, which therefore keeping it nice and safe and easy. So, once again, it's just a matter of common sense, really. And the last thing you want to do is that it's not the damage that you might get, but it's the damage you can do to somebody else, that might not have the people, the resources, the money, the whatever. So, isn't it? So it's really common sense. And
definitely. If you look at the logistics of stock cars, they have saloon cars and that sort of thing for a reason.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to get in stock cars and hurt themselves.
Yeah. But health and safety is starting to come down pretty hard on our sport. Is it happening in yours?
Yes and no. Like as I said before, Barry's come along and he's definitely brushed us up on our personal safety and the truck safety, which needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably very similar to the stock cars and all that sort of stuff. It's getting to the stage where people are just getting hurt because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And there's also some dumb people out there that get hurt for no real reason. They're the ones that are ruining it for the people that, because you got to wrap everybody up in cotton wool these days and send them off in their vehicles, don't you? Because it's like really can't really do anything because you end up in trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk element, I suppose, out there, but that's in any sport. Rugby's got the same problem, hasn't it?
Well, yeah.
It's just the way the world's moving.
Unfortunately, it is. Shane, it would be great catching up. I wouldn't mind catching up with you again sometime in the next month or so, too. So just to tell us all the latest and greatest gossip about your truck racing, the Napa Auto Parts Super Truck Series. 4 tracks. We'll have a bit of a chat about that after we get off the line to you. But thanks very much for coming in and checking us out.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for your time, Jace. We certainly appreciate it. And the advertising, you've got a huge field out there of people we get across to. So we look forward to seeing some of you at the tracks and that. So those dates are all on our Facebook page, all our social media. We'd just love to see everyone come along, and feel free to wander into the pits and talk to us.
Absolutely.
We're all human.
Absolutely. You're not going to Rapuna this year, is it? Did I see that?
Yep.
Oh, you are. Sorry, I missed it.
That's our Burnside sponsored round.
Oh, yep.
22nd, 23rd of March.
Shelley was really good at giving me all the dates and the sponsors, but didn't put where the round was. So, so it was...
okay.
Yeah, so that's why I got a bit confused about that one. All right, mate. Hey, thanks very much. We'll let you carry on with your day and or night or evening. And, look forward to catching up in about a month's time, eh?
No, awesome. Thanks everyone for your time.
Right, mate. See you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
There we go, folks. That was Shane Gray, of course, Vice President from the Napa Auto Parts New Zealand Truck Racing Association. So let's have a little bit about some of these rounds, as he has alluded to. Round 1, which was already been with Central House Movers that sponsored those guys at Manfield. Round 2 was at that was Timaru. So John Jones Steel, I believe, is sponsoring that round. Which is the next round. Round 3 is King's House Removals sponsored, which is here in Invercargill at Tiratonga Park Raceway, was what they could call it. Round 4 is the Burnside Contractors round at Ruapuna Speedway, and then round 5 is the Bosco Bryce O'Sullivan Contracting round 5, which is going to be held at Manfield. So honestly, get along and check these things out. You've never seen truck racing, Lynn. We did some live streams and stuff like that, and it's all good, but you're never going to experience the atmosphere, the power, the speed, the acceleration, and all that stuff that these things do. You've got to get over and check them out. So the dates, as they said, you can get onto the New Zealand Super Truck Racing Facebook page. Easy to find, just type in New Zealand Super Truck Racing. They are on TikTok, and some of the videos are pretty cool. I've been watching and keeping an eye on what they've been up to with that, so make sure you get onto that. They're pretty much on every form of social media you can get, and yeah, lots of photos, lots of everything that's there as well. So support them, and then as Shane alluded to, if you are a venue that's watching this, a track, you know, and you want these guys to come and race at your track, get onto your promotion, get onto the teams that make it happen, and then let's get these guys another couple of rounds that they can go to. It'd be quite good to have a couple of 3 in the north and a couple of 3 in the south type scenario. All right, that's pretty much me, team. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Shane for coming on board. Thanks for the New Zealand Super Truck Racing team for